Welcome to this week's recap. Today, the Detroit Lions faced off against the Los Angeles Rams. Did they get the victory? Who cares? The Lions do what they usually do, lose another game at home, and drop to 4-8 on the season. The Lions season is officially over, and to the offseason we go. Now introducing your host, Derek P. Fields. My name is Derek P. Fields. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. Do me a favor and give me a thumbs up. Helps the video out tremendously. And also subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I would appreciate that tremendously. First and foremost, I just got to say the reason that I'm on camera this week at all is because my video was so overwhelming from the Bears beating the Lions on Thanksgiving. I think as of today, it had over 3,000 views. Now, I know I went hard as ever on the Detroit Lions last week, and rightly so. And I said I was done, and I did not watch the game today. I did catch some highlights, but I did not watch the game. I told you guys that I wouldn't. And I also said that the only way that I would come back on is if you wanted it. Well, you wanted it, so here I am. So I did catch a little bit here and there, like I said, of highlights. I saw Todd Gurley run through the Lions' defensive line and run to the 1-yard line and then decides to do the smart thing and runs sideways and gets tackled in the field of play to prevent the Lions from having any time, preserving their timeouts. Now, I just got to say, shout out to Todd Gurley for thinking that the Lions were going to do anything. But it was just a smart play. So it's tough to talk about this game having seen very little. But as I said last week, I wasn't going to waste my time. The Lions are currently 4-8, and their season officially ended today. The New York Giants just pulled off the impossible and beat the Chicago Bears in overtime. Last time I checked, the Bears looked like they were going to lose, and I guess they managed to tie it up. And the Giants got the win. So, indeed, this league is about any given Sunday, but we gotta listen. We gotta address some things. Let me take my weekly sip. I just gotta apologize too, guys, because the swallow is real thick on. It's like, so I know you guys want to see a rant, and I said everything I had to say last week. Like last week was the end of the season for me, and it was truly, it felt like, as I was ranting for 27 minutes, that it was indeed the end of the season. But I'm not really going to talk about the game because I only saw a little bit of it. I do know that Aaron Donald was killing him. I know Sue got his fair share of tackles as well. But we've got to look. It's officially time to look toward the offseason. And I don't know about you guys, but I am sick of this. And I told you last week, man, you know, if you're a Lions fan, you're a Lions fan. They even said it on the broadcast. Like they shouted out the people in the stadium for actually going to the game and how pathetic that we've been and how much the Lions have put the fan base through. In my opinion, Matthew Stafford didn't play any better from the little bit that I did see. Looks like I know I saw him lose a fumble. and he threw an interception, and they were both on him. It does kind of sting to know that you could have had Aaron Donald over Eric Ebron, who is balling, by the way, in Indianapolis. But it's officially time for us to look toward the offseason. And we need to make some changes. Now, I hate to say it, man. I'm happy they lost. I am happy they lost because it makes for good content. The Lions losing makes for excellent content. Now, I had all the energy. I burnt all the energy I could last week. I can't burn anymore unless I, get a little excited. But it's actually good for business that they lose. And also, it's good because what if the Lions would have won this game? Then what? Then they're 5-7. And, they got to win out because I think Green Bay lost today. Let me check and see. Full scoreboard. I think Green Bay lost and Minnesota's playing the Patriots right now. Man, I just took a sip of that. Green Bay loses to the Cardinals, man. Okay. All right. See, that excitement is coming back. The Detroit Lions. Now, this is coming from me. I'm a Detroit native. I am a Detroit resident, and I am a avid Lions fan. But the harsh reality for the last 61 years is what it is, that this is what we go through. When the Lions do well, every other team does weller. I know that's not a word, but when the Lions do well, every other team does better. When the Lions are terrible, every other team is terrible. The Packers are terrible. The Lions are atrocious. And the Vikings, they look like that I think they're going to stall out. While even though the Bears lost today, it's the Bears' division to lose. Okay, let's be clear about that. All right, so let's go back to the game cast. So as Lions fans, it's time for us to start really. We need to figure out. Hold on. I lost my place. Okay. No, team stats. All right. It's time for us to start. You're not going to stop watching the Lions. You're not going to stop supporting the Lions. But it's time for us to take it back to 08. I don't know if they black games out anymore. I don't know if that's a thing. But 10 years ago, it was a thing. And it's time for us to start talking about the future. Let's not talk about tanking. That is the one thing that out of today's game that I do appreciate of the Detroit Lions is that they played like they usually play. They didn't play any better or any worse. They lost the game because they're bad. They didn't lose the game because they were going to tank. And that's the number one thing. If they're going to lose with pride, to play the game like we want to play. Now, I'm not going down. Listen, the next time I go to a Lions game, the Lions will be in first place. That's all I got to say. Whether it's week 1 or week 10, the Lions will be in first place. That's the next time I will pay my hard-earned money to go down and see the Lions. I can't really comment on Nevin Lawson, so you guys put it in the comments, man. I know he was probably getting smoked today. I did hear on the radio that Darius, I guess, Big Play Slay, he got toasted today, but it's time to start talking about the future. And I know it's going to be a lot of people that don't like this comment. And I saw their point last week. The point of Matthew Stafford can only work with what he has, right? And the Lions are lacking. Every year he's been here, the Lions are lacking in a lot of areas. Now, I must be honest. I got to be honest. Last week I had it. And I agree with those people. That Matthew Stafford is not as bad as I was making him seem. Last week was his fault. It is what it is. People make mistakes. But he's not as bad as we as Detroit paint him out to be. I'm just there. I said it. We can't blame Stafford if it's the organization. We need to start talking about the organization of the Detroit Lions and how long we are going to support the Lions. 61 years. That is some people's entire lifetime. 61 years. That the Lions have been in the bottom of everything they've done. We haven't won a title since I was in high school. I think I was just going to high school. I done had my second reunion. That's how long it's been since the Lions have won a title. You guys know how old I am. I'm 39. I'll be 40 next year. All of my life, this is how it's been. All of one of my family members' life, this is all that it's been. Our grandparents have never seen the Lions win a Super Bowl, obviously, but our grandparents are the last people. If you're in your 30s or 40s, your grandparents are the last people, possibly your parents, to see the Lions do anything. We need to start. Listen, we're going to go over the box scores in a minute, the team stats, but we need to start telling it like it is. The Lions are bad. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, it's Matt Patricia's first year. I wish I could find Jim Caldwell. And I'm not going to say necessarily to coach the team, but I wish I could find him because he's kind of been silent. Everybody wanted, I mean, they came down on Jim Caldwell like everything was his fault. When the Lions are bad, the first person we want to blame is the head coach, right? From Wayne Fonts to Morningweg to Rod Marinelli, who endured the 0-16 season. I mean, everybody. All of them. That's the first place we want to go. We just skip past Martha Ford, William Ford. We just skip right over them like they're not the owners of the team. They're not the ones making the ultimate decisions of who gets what money. Okay? They don't bring the right people in. You want to keep Jim Bob Cooter because your quarterback. It's my quarterback, man. It's my quarterback. You want him to be happy. Man, get up out of here. We're trying to win titles. You bring in somebody that's going to get the job done. Why is it that we keep running through people like baby diapers? Coordinators, we're running through them. So let's skip over this game. Lions, we all knew they was going to lose. I thought it was going to be a beatdown, to tell you the truth. And it was close for a long time. But the Lions are who we know they are. And that's a bad team. That's a horrible franchise. That's a completely pathetic organization. So I went hard on Matthew Stafford last year. This week I'm gonna go easy on him. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for everybody who is on the Lions team. Okay? I hope Golden Tate eventually wins a Super Bowl. Anybody that anybody that leaves the Lions, I wish them the very best in life and in the game of football. That they go and win as many games and as many titles as they want. Because we are pathetic. We have been pathetic. We were, you know what? I'm glad Cleveland joined the organization to be the second 0-16 team, but we were the first. We're the first 0-6 team in the 0-16 team in the history of the game of football. And here we go again, 4-8. Now, like I said, I'm gonna go over the box scores in a minute, but it is time to ask yourself, how much of this are you going to continue to take? It was good not watching it today. I'm not even going to lie. It was great. I didn't make it skating because my back is hurting me. We'll probably do that Sunday. But it was great not watching it. It was therapeutic not watching it. It was, I'm like, man, I'm actually doing things instead of burning 3 hours of my life and then for the same outcome. So I'm just saying, guys. So let's go over. I do know that I heard on the radio that Toy Lolo, 4 receptions, 90 yards. Now, he's supposed to have bad hands, but he balled out. Man. And you know, the sad part is this team is so bad. Now, I hope this video gets a lot of traction. Okay? Give me a thumbs up. We got some haters out there. That's fine, man. Hate all you want. I think it is in people's natural inclination to hate. Okay. I'm just going to say this. Usually I don't name drop. Well, I kind of do. Motor City Sports Talk. I'm subscribed to Everything King. Awesome content. I'm glad he eclipsed 4,000 subscribers. And he asked in that video to leave thumbs up to progress his channel, right? So when I went, it was like 200 and something thumbs up and 1 thumbs down. There are people who just are unhappy and they want to make other people unhappy, and they can't do it any other way. And I'm not saying that he's unhappy or I'm unhappy, because actually what y'all don't realize is that thumbs down is actually good for a video too, because it shows interaction, which also gets traction. So that's why I said, if you want to hate my video, give it a thumb. I think YouTube should do away with thumbs down, because you just thumb it down like I don't like it. And I just think hate is inherently in some human beings. Just saying. So here we go. Let me see. Lions had 23 first downs and the Rams had 24. It seems as though that the Lions are that they seem to hold the ball more. Teams don't have to do a lot against the Lions because they're so bad. They don't even have to do, they hurt themselves. So the teams don't even have to do that much. Passing first downs, 14 for Detroit. Okay. 12 for the Rams. Rushing first downs, 9 for the Rams, 5 for the Lions. First down from penalties, the Lions had 4. The Rams had 3. But here's where the Lions, this is where it get bad. And this is what I'm saying, how we shoot ourselves in the foot. Third down efficiency. Rams were 5 for 11. The Lions were about 15%. They were less than 20% at 2 for 12. So not only were they in third down situations 12 times, they only converted 2 times. No fourth downs. Total plays, 64 for both teams. Total yards, 344 for the Rams and 310 for Detroit. Total drives, 13 for the Rams, 12 for Detroit. Yards per play, once again, the Lions are behind in that. 4.8 for the Lions, 5.4 for the Rams. Passing, Lions won that at 208, and the Rams had 195. So Stafford was 20 for 34, and Goff was 17 for 33. Stafford was sacked 4 times for 37 yards. Goff was 2 times for 12. The Lions had 102 yards rushing to 149 rushing for the Rams. So penalties, 8 for 54, which is amazing. That the Rams were 7 for 105. So that's one time that the Lions came on top, but that's still really, really bad. So red zone attempts, once again, the opposite team is 75% and the Lions are 20. So there's the whole season. The whole season comes down to red zone, the ability to score in the red zone, and the ability to get off the field on third downs. And to get off the field on third downs. So the Lions were able to stop the Rams 6 out of 11 times. But here the Rams stopped the Lions 10 out of 12 from converting third downs. There you go. That's what it is. So I'm just, it's, how long are we going to keep doing this as fans? How long are we going to keep going down there? I heard on the radio yesterday that there's a guy that he lives in a UP, and he's been going to every home game for like the last 10 years. I didn't catch his name. He drives from the UP 300 miles every single home game. And he has the same seats. I think he has he's known throughout the stadium. But they gave him 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, this coming up Super Bowl, for being the kind of fan he was. Now, I'll never go to a Super Bowl. I'm okay with saying that. And he's going to make it. I don't know if they paid for his fare, stuff like that. Shout out to him. I'm happy for him and his family and all that stuff. But that'll never happen for me, because I will not continue to do this. So we all knew they were going to lose. So it's not much of a rant. It's just an acknowledgement that the Lions season, even with Green Bay losing, Chicago losing, and let me check the score right now. Minnesota probably losing. They're down 7-0 in the first quarter. It doesn't matter. The Lions they're officially done. Now it's only a matter of time, probably tomorrow or Tuesday. It will come out that with 4 games left, the Lions are officially eliminated. So this is the second year now that we have not made the playoffs. And shout out to Everything King. Check out his channel. But he had said something, I think it was against the Panthers after that video, about how the Lions would get spanked in the playoffs. I'm paraphrasing here. That they would get spanked. And that's not what he wants to see. He wants to see them make a run. And I'm the same way, man. They went from, at this point, I don't even care, man. If you can't win a division, I don't even care if you go to the playoffs. I really don't, man, because it's like mediocre teams is just terrible, man. I'm glad that the Pistons beat the Warriors last night. I don't really watch them right now. It's just too many games for me. I got things I need to do, and I don't have time to watch every single Pistons game. But usually, if they make the playoffs, I'll make watch them then. But at least we got kind of something good going for the city of Detroit as far as the sports team. The Red Wings are terrible, and Michigan, they let us down last week, and the Tigers they're rebuilding. So, guys, like I said, I don't know how long we're going to do this as fans. So, anyway, I appreciate you guys and the love that the last video got. Let's get him some more thumbs up on this one. Hopefully, the viewership is just as big. I will say this. I think what happened was it was a nationally televised game. So, because of that, it got more traction than it would have got being local. So, I think that's one of the reasons it did so well. So anyway, guys, it is Derek P. Fields. I will talk to you guys later. I don't know how long we can keep doing this. All right, peace out.